Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for Florida Shines Virtual College Week. My name is Nashla Dewari. I will be facilitating today's session to learn how enrolling in a technical college can prepare you for success in your chosen field. Now, before we begin, I want to go over a few items with you. If you have questions, please put them in the Q&A box, and we will address them during the live Q&A with our speaker or in a follow-up email. Closed captioning is provided for this session. You can click the link in the chat box. This session will also be recorded. The recording, along with the materials shared today, will be posted on our website at floridashines.org. And finally, we are live on Twitter, so feel free to share your comments and connect with us at FLShines. Now, for those of you that are not familiar, Florida Shines empowers Floridians to earn a college degree and find a bright career by providing free online tools to help students, parents, and educators. We work with all of Florida's colleges and universities and other partners to help students succeed in school and beyond. From floridashines.org, as a middle or high school student, you can explore Florida's colleges and universities. You can check your progress towards high school graduation. You can view your Bright Futures eligibility. You can learn ways to pay for college and much more. So I invite you to visit floridashines.org to learn more about these resources. Now I'd like to introduce our speaker, Dr. Diane Culpepper. She is the Executive Director at Lake Technical College since 2010. Prior to coming to Lake County, she served for 23 years in the Career and Technical Education Department for Orange County Schools at both the school and district levels. Dr. Culpepper earned her bachelor's degree in Business Administration and Marketing from the University of Central Florida, her master's degree in Vocation Administration from UCF, as well in her PhD in Workforce Education from the University of South Florida. She loves the educational profession, and she has taught at all levels from elementary, middle, high school, technical college, and university. Dr. Culpepper is a board member of CareerSource Central Florida. She serves as an ex officio committee member for the Manufacturing Association of Central Florida. She is the chairperson for Florida Leaders for Career and Technical Education, board member of the East Central Florida Regional Planning Council, a former commissioner on the Council on Occupational Education. She serves on a variety of state and national CTE committees, and she's the vice chairperson of Church Council at Holy Cross Church in Lake Mary, Florida. Dr. Culpepper, we are honored to have you with us today. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm very excited to be here as well and talk about how we are going to prepare people to shine in their career through the technical colleges in Florida. So I'm going to see if I can take control here of the PowerPoint and make that work. So give me 1 minute. There we go. Okay, very good. So good afternoon, and I want to start by really giving you a big picture overview of Florida's technical colleges. There are 48 of us, 48 public institutions. 43 are called technical colleges and 5 are called technical centers. There's really no difference in what we do or how we do it. It's just really the name. But we're all part of the K-12 school districts in our state, but we're the post-secondary arm of the school district. We are all nationally accredited by the Council on Occupational Education, sometimes known as COE. This is a national accrediting body that accredits post-secondary institutions across the nation who focus on career training. And we're also approved by, all of us, approved by the U.S. Department of Education, and I'll tell you a little later why that's all very important. We have an intense focus on students and our employers, which then leads to our students achieving and being able to enter high-wage, high-skill, and high-demand jobs. So this slide will show you where all the technical colleges and technical centers are located throughout the state of Florida. The yellow stars show the technical colleges, and the red ones are the technical centers. but you can see where we're located. And one thing that I get asked often is, can students attend technical colleges in a county other in which they live? And yes, they can. A student in Florida can attend any technical college in the state. They're Florida residents, and so they can do so. And we have students who come to Florida from out of state, and they can attend a technical college as well and pay out-of-state tuition. So a little bit of information about the data that we have, just to give you, again, the big picture of our Florida technical colleges. This data is from 2017-18 because our 2018-19 data is not quite yet finalized, but I'll assume that it'll be very, very close. So if you notice right in the center, in 2017-18, we served over 214,000 students across the state in 209 technical programs. And these technical programs are all tied to the Department of Labor's career clusters, so they're very relevant and current in our regions and across the state of Florida. You'll also notice that 10,000 industry credentials were awarded. We very much focus on preparing our students to earn industry certifications or licensures that go along with their program so that their employers across the state or even across the nation will recognize the hard work and what they prepared for. And you will also see that down at the bottom that almost 10,000 registered apprenticeship students in the state. And the Florida Technical Colleges are actually the largest provider of apprenticeship programs in Florida. Now, right in the middle, we're very proud of our accountability measures, which has to do with completion. 85% of our students complete their program. 88% of our students across the state are placed in the job for which they trained or continued on with further education. And 92% of our students pass their licensure exam. And we're real proud of those numbers. We feel like that shows the great success that our Florida technical colleges are doing. So our tagline is a career in the year. So most of our programs are 1 year or less in length. So that allows students to get in and get out quickly and get to work. We operate as a clock hour institution. So this is something a little bit different than what maybe we think about with college. You might usually think about credit hours. Well, we focus on clock hours. So that is the number of hours that a student would be enrolled in the program. So for example, administrative office specialist program might be 1,050 hours in length, and that takes about 1 year because our students are enrolled and studying and working all day. So most training is 25 to 30 hours per week, very concentrated and very focused in whatever it is they're studying. And they're mastering their technical competencies. So that's what we focus on. The mastery of the technical competencies, while their academics are integrated right on into their specific programs, so that the math or the reading or the science makes sense and connects to the technical skills they're studying. Our tuition is very affordable because we are a public school in Florida. And again, this is an average. Everybody charges something a little bit different, but the average is about $2.80 a clock hour. Each institution could be a little different, but it'll vary just by a few cents up or down. And so again, if you think about that 1,050-hour program times $2.80, that would be the cost for the entire year in the program. Now, financial aid and scholarships are available. So if you remember, I talked about how important the national accreditation with COE is and how important it is to be approved by the U.S. Department of Education, and all our technical colleges are, and that is so that we are able to offer federal Pell Grants to students. These grants don't ever need to be paid back. They're need-based, and so students are able to get funding to help pay for their program from the federal government. We recommend that all students fill out the free application for federal student aid, the FAFSA, and then that will show a student how much what the dollar amount will be that they're eligible for a Pell Grant or other scholarships at their particular institution. We are all able to work with vocational rehab, so for benefits for students that might be in that category. We are approved by the VA for veterans benefits. We accept Bright Futures, Florida prepaid tuition, and a variety of other state scholarships from Career Source, or even some private scholarships that each institution might be able to offer to students. But it's very important to all of us that our students graduate without any student debt. And I think that's a big deal. We kind of really promote the fact that students get in, get trained, get out, get a job, and don't have any debt to pay back. So now, what are classes like at a technical college? Well, first of all, they're hands-on real-world training. So most of our labs are like living classrooms where students can work in an authentic environment that simulates the workplace. We want our students to apply their theory and knowledge right in an environment that'll prepare them to hit the ground running when they go to work. So most of the labs, whether it's a culinary lab, a cosmetology lab, a machine shop, a welding shop, they look and operate a lot like it looks in the real world. And so that way students have that experience and are not surprised when they go to work in that sort of environment. Our classes are very small and students receive individualized attention. So an average class size, again, depending on the program, 15 maybe to 25, but the teacher or teachers are able to provide that very individualized attention to the student as they work through the competencies that they are mastering. Because we focus on those competencies, some students might move quickly through the mastery of that competency, while others might need to practice or rework 2 or 3 times, and that is all okay. We want our students to be successful in whichever way works for them. We also have all of our programs are supported by business and industry. Every program at our schools have advisory committees made up of those local business and industry partners who provide technical expertise to us, help make sure our program's up to date on all the current trends, provide opportunities for internships and apprenticeships to our students. And quite frankly, many of them are on our advisory committee so that they can hire the students. As we know, there's a skilled workforce shortage in our state and in our country, and so these industry partners know where to get good employees that are well trained, and they're from our technical colleges. And we also prepare our students, like I said earlier, for the National Industry Certification or licensure exams. And this is very important too, so that employers know that our students do have not only the skill and the knowledge, but they're able to make that happen and pass those national standardized exams. I wanted to show you a few pictures of some real classrooms and real equipment so that you can see the variety of programs that were offered. We can see in the upper left-hand corner in a CNC production classroom, and you see a firefighting classroom, cosmetology, a nursing graduation, and a diesel trainer. So again, this shows the small classes, the hands-on training that our students get, and how they are being prepared for their industry certification. Again, some additional pictures, a dental assisting classroom at the top left, automotive classroom, law enforcement, down at the bottom, a pharmacy technician lab, and then bottom left, a machine shop. So all of the equipment in our programs is industry standard, as well as the curriculum being industry standard. As I said, those partners, the business partners, help us make sure of that. They look at our equipment and they're very critical and interested in making sure our equipment is up to standards. So again, as I said, we want to make sure the students are ready to hit the ground running when they go to work and to be able to learn and practice in an environment that will be much like what they're going to see and do when they're employed. And I think you can see evidence of that in these pictures. So what happens after graduation? Well, first of all, most colleges have the career centers for job placement services. And as I showed you earlier, we have a very high placement rate amongst our technical colleges in the state of Florida. And that's because we do focus on job placement and helping our students find those careers that they're training for. Our accreditation body holds us to a high standard on placement, so it's very important to them as well. And job placement is one of the reasons that students enroll with us. But we also know how important those educational pathways are. And so most programs at the technical colleges across the state are articulated to AAS or AS degrees at the state colleges. So each technical college works with our local state college to develop articulations so students who are ready to move on to those degree programs from the technical college can do so easily. And there are also some statewide articulations, and I've included the website for you so you can locate for yourself the statewide articulations for students who complete programs and then want to go to a state college that might not be in their area. So at my school, Lake Technical College, we are articulating most of our programs with Lake Sumter State College, but there could be a program that they don't have that a student wants to go into, and so they would look maybe to a neighboring state college or any college, state college across the state. And this website will help you find where you can articulate. And then there's also something called the Gold Standard Career Pathways Articulation. And this articulation is based strictly on the industry certifications that the students would earn in their technical programs. So the link is there for you as well, so you can check out that. And so how do you enroll? And I'll just tell you in a general sense, because we probably all do this slightly different, but an application would need to be completed and for the institution in which you wish to attend. And most of those applications can be found on the institution's website or at the school district's website. And then you might have to take a pre-admissions test. For any student that graduated from a Florida public high school after 2007, you do not need to take the TABE test. The TABE test is the test of adult basic education. But if you graduated before that, you will. But there could be some other tests for limited access type programs. For example, law enforcement program has a required CJBAT test that has to be taken. And most of the practical nursing programs in our technical colleges require a pre-admission test. So you would check with the technical college admissions department to determine what tests might be needed. And then you meet with your counselor or career advisor to discuss your application and what you're interested in doing. And on occasion, you might not know exactly what you want to do, and so you can do some work through Florida Shines to find out and understanding some of the different careers fields to go into or other career type tests. And then you would want to secure your financial aid or other scholarships that would help you be able to pay for your training. Some schools or programs enroll each month, some each quarter, or more often. It just depends on the program and the institution. So at Lake Technical College, some of the programs enroll each quarter. We have a few programs that take new students each month, and then we have some programs that just enroll students once a year, like nursing or like law enforcement. So there's lots of different opportunities and variety of ways to enroll, but most of all, we want to make it as easy as possible for students. Now, if you're a high school student and you want to get started right away and you don't want to wait till after you graduate, most of our technical colleges have career dual enrollment. So it's a way to test drive your career while still in high school, and a great way to get started on even moving faster in preparation of that career or the next step on the educational pathway. So like I said, most technical colleges do have career dual enrollment. You have to have a high school GPA of 2.0 or above and be on track for graduation, because dual enrollment is known as an acceleration method. There could be other requirements that might apply depending on the institution and the program. But there you are in high school, and you have the opportunity to not only earn post-secondary credit at technical college, but also high school credit at your home high school and the industry certifications. So it's a win-win-win for you with career dual enrollment. And career dual enrollment is available not only for the public school students, but for charter school students, homeschool, and private school students. So it's a great way to, again, get your foot in the door and get started on that career quicker. So that's the information I have to share with you about the technical colleges in Florida, and I'm looking forward to taking any of your questions that you may have.
Dr. Culpepper, thank you so much for sharing such a wealth of resources. Like you mentioned, I'd like to invite our audience at this time to send in your questions. And while we're doing that, Dr. Culpepper, just have to say, great opportunity for students to get hands-on training for a career, like you mentioned many times, in less than a year with affordable tuition. Just a great way to get connected with employers and begin that journey as
Absolutely.
well. So thank you for sharing that. We do have a couple of questions from our audience. The first one is related to age. Is there a minimum age to enroll?
It, again, will depend on the technical college. It generally is about 16 as the minimum age because of the maturity level needed for a lot of the equipment and skill that is required. So I would say it's generally 16, but check with the individual technical college in your area and to be sure. There are some programs that have a higher age requirement, for example, nursing or a correctional officer where students have to be 18, or be 18 before they can take some of the licensure testing. And so, again, it's important to check with the technical college about the program that one might be interested in.
Absolutely. And are there online options for courses that students would have available to them?
Again, that would be a question for the technical college. Some of the technical colleges have some online options in some of the areas. We offer one at Lake Tech in 911 dispatcher, but each institution is different. We believe there's so much hands-on training that it's really important to be right there doing and taking the class right in the facility. So some of the online is a little more difficult, but again, check with the institution.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, it doesn't have to be specifically the one in your region. You
Correct.
Can look outside of your region for other centers that may have the program you're looking for as well.
That's exactly right.
Great. Well, I think actually there is one more question that came in, Dr. Culpepper.
Okay.
The maximum age to get financial aid using the FAFSA.
The maximum age? Is that what you said, the maximum?
Yes.
I don't think there's a maximum age for utilizing FAFSA. Now, for a career dual enrollment student, you know, the tuition, there is no tuition for a high school student. So that's a benefit I failed to mention. But a maximum age, I don't know of a maximum age, so I don't think there is one.
I don't believe so either. Your eligibility may change based on your status, so whether or not you fall under your parents' income or your own, that may vary.
Correct.
But I think you're correct. Yeah. Great. Well, and one more question related to the presentation that I think kind of goes with our closing here. Dr. Culpepper, again, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. This presentation, the recording, and the slides will be available on floridashines.org. So you're welcome to visit us there and download this information. You can also contact us at help@flvc.org. I want to invite our audience to join us next to learn everything you need to know about the admissions process for post-secondary options. That is at 5 o'clock, and you can register on floridashines.org. So again, Dr. Culpepper, thank you for being with us tonight.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.